So today I'm going to show you how I train. Okay, I'm going to do basically back and triceps today, and tomorrow I'm going to do chest with biceps, and then I have my leg workout. My hips are bone on bone right now, so it's more of a rehab program just to keep me from making it worse. But let's go into. I'm always going to start with 2 corrective exercises for my shoulder. Focus on the rear delt, where the teres major, teres minor. Okay, so real simple. I'm just going to warm this up, super lightweight. Do 10 or 15 reps like this. Really concentrating on not shrugging my shoulder. I'm going to keep my shoulders down, and I'm focused on my rear delt. Okay, the back cap there. 10 or I usually do about 15 or 20. And I have a whole system designed so that, most people that are going to start, they're going to go like this. So really learning how to keep that shoulder down into position. And then I just increase weight. I'm going to go back to the left side, and I'm going to get, this is actually too easy, I'm going to go up even more. So I'm at 60 pounds. I don't think this is fully 60 pounds. Probably more like maybe 30. I don't know how much it is. It says it's 60, but I doubt it. This is a solid weight for me. So I'm gonna pause for a sec there. I really feel that muscle at the end range. Can handle that 2. That's good. I'm going to do the other side. And I like having my hands below my shoulder. I don't like having them up here because then it just works more in my trap. I'm really just concentrating on that rear delt. And I'm going to do one more. Then I have one more corrective exercise. I got to see what it is. I'll look at my app here, see what I got. So I'm going to do one more. I'm going to go up and weight just a little bit more. That's very challenging. 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. All right. So basically I went to failure there, okay? Last set I try to go to failure, even on these small muscles. So 8, 9 reps, that's what I'm able to get with, it says 70 pounds. There's no way that's 70, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do 70 pounds with a rear delt, but that's what it says there. All right, so what's next? So I'm gonna do rotator cuff. So I'm gonna pick a cuff exercise. It's always 2, and I got basically, I'm working my upper body 3 days a week. And I'm gonna get a 5, I'm gonna get an 8. I'm very weak. I was very weak through here. And on my left side, it's so strong in this position. And I trained it, when I start with people, I would start them off, like this. And as I get stronger, I change the angle. I'm going to use, I got a 5 and I got an 8 here. I'm going to put this on my back. You see how it just allows me then to stay here? I don't show that in the app, but that's a good way to do it. You can take a yoga block or a dumbbell, and now I can really stay in this position here. So again, I'm going to warm it up with 5, and then I'm going to really challenge the hell out of it with 8. And I don't really do rotator cuff on my left arm because it's so strong. I just focus on my right because my right is the weak point. And on most people, the dominant arm is really going to be the side of the rotator cuff. That's going to be the weakness. And I've done a lot of videos on why that is. And you can watch them, but you're always going like this. So the shoulder's always rolling. If you swing, if you hit. So you're constantly in this position, never going back. When this side's always, if I rip a baseball or a golf, this side pulls through this way. So it's constantly hitting the rotator cuff. So that's one of the reasons why. So I'm at 8 pounds with this, and I'm gonna drop set with this because I'm still pretty weak on this. This is just, I got an MRI, my teres minor is atrophied. It's been that way for quite some time. Very hard to get it to fire. I've been able to do it over the last 6 months, you know, really working on this and some other exercise, but you know, that's been a cause of my shoulder problems for quite some time. All right, so we're going here. So now we're gonna go with 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay. And now I'm gonna finish the set out with 5. Just a nice little burn. That's about it. I don't wanna get too fried out. I'm gonna do one more, but watch, I mean, my left side's like a joke. Like I could probably take 15 pounds on the left side and do it. That's why I just don't even bother doing rotator cuff on my left. Not all people are like that, but you know, like look, this is 8 pounds. Like I could, this is a joke. You know, so that's why I don't even bother. It's always strong. This side, you know, this was a struggle with me with like 2 or 3 pounds in this position. But I finally built it up to 8. And I'm gonna try to, my goal is to get to 15 reps, then I'll go up a pound with this. So let's go with 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all I can get, 7. So I got a while until I can get 15, but at least I'm up to that weight now. Okay, good. I don't want to get too fried out. And now we're going into let's see what's next on the app here. Pull-ups. Now, I'm a firm believer in pull-ups, but doing your pull-ups correctly. A lot of people, they do it like this, and this is how they develop themselves, and they just end up looking like this. And they don't actually get the full girth of their lats. So I'm going to show you how I do it. And I think this is a better way to learn. I started with the assisted pull-up, and I just mastered the form. And I like warming up with assisted. So what I do is I put there's just an ankle strap here. I put this on here, and then I hold it to this side. I'm gonna put it on, give myself like 20 pounds on each side just to warm it up. And now I got it here, and I come here. Okay, and this will be my first warm-up set. Make it nice and easy. But watch my form here. I don't go like this. I go like this. Look at how I stay back. I'm really driving my arms to the bottom of my chest. So I mean, this is easy. And then I do an underhand, just warming up. You see guys that have the biggest backs, they usually are pretty strong with their pull-ups. Like I found with the lat pull, I only got so far. Pull-ups really got me. And it's just starting to really form. You know, I never really bodybuilded. I was always focused on sports performance. So now I'm focused more on bodybuilding here. So now we're gonna make it a little bit harder. Give myself less weight. So I'm gonna do one more assisted. I won't even do that many. 1, 2, 3. Just kind of get myself prepped. What I do is, I started with the assisted pull-ups. Well, first I started with the assisted pull-ups for probably like the last 4 or 5 months, just building my form up till I can finally do a regular pull-up with that technique, staying here, not doing this. And when you do assisted, it really teaches you how to feel your lats. So you can really understand, because you're not just trying to fight up, you can you stay more in control and you can really grab onto your lats and really feel them working as you pull up. And then I finally worked up to this here. Now, last week was my rest week, but the week before, I did a 4-week cycle. I started with 10 pounds here with 8 reps, and I built myself up at the end of the 4 weeks. I was able to do 11, 12 reps. As soon as I hit 11 to 12 with anything, I usually try to start off with 7 or 8 reps with a particular exercise, and every week I try to beat it. And as soon as I get up to 11 or 12, that's when I up the weight. So I hit 12 reps, and now I up 5 pounds to make it harder. So this will be my first set here. Now, I'm only going to do like 2 reps just to get my body ready for this weight. And I'm going to rest, and I'm going to do 1 all-out set. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that. 1, just get my body used to it. 2, perfect. Okay, so now it's stimulated, nervous system's ready. And then we're going to hit as many as we can with this weight. Now, if I do this, and I'm going to shoot for 7 to 9 reps. So if I hit that, I'm going to do what's called a rest pause, come down for maybe 15 to 30 seconds, and then I'm going to do again as many as I can do. Usually at that point, maybe you do like 2 to 4 reps. And then I go on to the next exercise. But I found that if I just do 1 set to absolute failure, then the next week I noticed that I can increase my reps at a greater rate. Before I would do, like everyone talks about, doing a little bit more volume, and I do 2 sets, keeping 2 reps in reserve, and I try to train my body, like my back twice a week. And I found that I just never got that strong with it. And some people, they do make improvement, but for me, I like more the Dorian Yates style, just doing 1 all-out set. I feel like I get the most benefit, and I always see my strength improve. As soon as I start doing that 2 reps in reserve, 2 sets, for me, my body, I don't see it. It just doesn't, I don't get that strong on it. And for me, strength is what I really want. Okay. So now, we're prepped. I'm going to give myself like 30 more seconds, and then I'm going to go all out. All right, let's see how many I can get here. So again, I'm trying to keep good form. I'm not going like this. Okay, so now I'm going to give myself a little rest. Maybe 15, 20 seconds. And I'm going to try to go all out again. Okay. Not too much rest because you're trying to just keep it all in 1 set. That's it, I'm done. I am absolutely fried after that. Now you can, sometimes just to make it even harder, I'll come up, like Dorian talks about, I don't have a partner, but I'll just get some eccentric out of it. So I'll come here, because you're still strong on the eccentric. Okay, done. That's it. So there's my 1 set all out. Sometimes I do the eccentric. Sometimes I feel like it takes, I wanted to show you that, but sometimes I feel like it takes too much out of me, kind of takes away from the next exercise. I found that either rest pause like I did, or go, and then I put the assistant on, and then I do drop sets. That's another way. So I usually fluctuate between those 2. So now we're going to take a solid, probably 3-minute rest break. Now I'm all warmed up, so I don't need to do as many sets. And now we're going to do a close grip, pull down over here. So on my right hip, I fractured it. I tore the labrum 180 degrees, and before that it was bone on bone on the right hip. Left hip's actually a little bit better, but that's what so right now I got stem cells put in, but the reason my hips are so bad is because just genetically, I have a bad cam impingement, it's called, FAI. Literally my femur head are shaped like almost like an egg shape. And so what happens is my internal rotation, there's just nothing. So just grind it down over the years on the right side. And I'm looking to get a hip resurfacing at this point. So, but you'll see, I'm gonna film myself doing my rehab program, but the doctors couldn't believe how I could run, jump, before I fractured it and tore it 180, that was 6 months ago. They couldn't believe what I could do with a bone-on-bone hip, just because of the support structure I built with the system that I have. All right, so now, back to this. This is, I've been using 120, okay, for my failure set on this. I'm gonna start with just 100 and just do one warm-up set. Nothing crazy, just get a connection to the muscle, feel it. Don't get overly fatigued. Perfect. Now I'm gonna go to 120. And last time I did this, I got 9 reps, okay? And I do have a little, when I do it, I don't just blew up. I have a little tiny pause at the bottom just to feel that muscle and so I have that control. So I do that, I'll rest for like a minute and then I'm gonna hit it. All right, so this is my all-out set. I'm gonna try to get 11. I feel strong today after last week's rest week. Usually do 4 weeks and I take a rest week. We'll see how this feels here. So I'll give myself 10 and then 10 and a half. All right, so I'm not at 11 yet. So I probably need a week or two to get to 11 or 12, solid 11 or 12, and I'll go up in weight. So I'm gonna keep this for next week. I'm gonna try to beat it. Give myself a little more rest, and now I'm gonna do my drop set. I'm gonna rest all set. Done. Then I go on to the next exercise. So the next one I'm going to do is, I'm going to do a wide grip row. Okay, so I did pull up this way, closer grip. Now I'm going to do a wide row, and I'm going to finish with a single arm. So this one I usually max out around 110 with, and I can do 9 reps. We'll see if I can get 10. And I'm always going to do about 20 pounds less for my warm-up set. So I'm going to put it at 90, and then 110 will be my regular. I'm not yet done. I still feel fatigued. So I'm going to take another minute or two, just so I'm fresh with this. So if you want to... Perfect. Warm up. Easy. Now I go to my main weight, 110, give myself like 2 minutes and then 1 or 2 minutes and I'm gonna hit them hard. So I'm gonna shoot for 9 reps here. I didn't get 9, I got 8. And so I didn't really improve on this one, but I also created a lot of fatigue with that first exercise when I was doing the eccentric. And so this is the third exercise, so you're gonna be a little bit weaker. So I don't really care that much about this one. It's the first 2 that are really that are the most valuable. This one is kind of building more the upper section of your lats. Now I'm gonna go, I rested a little too long there, but not bad. It's done. That was a little hard on my hip too, at that range there. So, you know, I felt it in the hip and I just gotta ease up a little bit. Okay. Now we're gonna go to one of my favorites. I got stem cells put in my hip too to regrow the cartilage and the labrum. So that's why I think it's doing so well. I gotta do a follow-up to see the improvement, get it under MRI, but I could tell you, like, there's no way I could have picked that bench up like that, you know, even 2 months ago. When I say stem cells, it's umbilical cord, not PRP. The doctors will be, oh, you're getting this good stem cells, PRP. No, that's not stem cells. So this is my warm-up. I really like this. I prefer this over the dumbbell. I can't do the dumbbell now because it's just too hard on the hip. But so this is just warming up. I feel very fatigued right now in my lats. So I'm going to take a little more rest, probably 3 minutes, and then I'll hit this one up. Okay. So last week I had this at 9. I was able to do 12. So now I just went up and I'm going to 10. So I guess that's 100, but I always feel like it's just something's off with all these cable systems. You never really know when you're hit. But anyway, I'm at 10. I'm not going to drop. I was very fatigued, so I took about 3 minutes. And now I'm going to go all out. 1. Okay. I am not going to do rest pause here. I'm just going to do, this is my last set. I'm very fatigued and I still got triceps. So I'm just going to do one hammer, just one. So I got 9. That's enough for me, we're back. So, it took me maybe 30 minutes, pretty quick, because you're only doing one set. And then I basically don't do any of the back exercises until next week. I just do it once a week, because I just crushed my back. Why do I need to let it recover, and then next week it'll be, I've experimented too, if I go all out like this, and let's say today's Monday, let's say on Friday, I try to hit back again, or just, you know, one hard set of back or something like that. I find that it carries over the next week, and I'm not as fresh, and rest, recover. If you're going up in weight or up in reps every week, that means there is an improvement. That means you're getting stronger. That means you're going to get bigger, especially in this type of hypertrophy rep range, you know, the 8 to 12. There's some cycles where I do take a week and I'll lift heavy and maybe do 5 or 6 reps, but for the most part, this I found is a very safe range. It's very challenging. So now we're going to do triceps. So because my shoulder was so rounded forward for all those years, it was kind of in this position, my tricep never really developed because I never really could push down and get that dry. I also found that for me, like a lot of people, they swear by the push downs this way. For me, I get the most benefit out of a dip push-up. I mean a dip off the bench here. I found that I can just, it gets in the deepest, and I really can get a nice strong contraction, and I can develop that horseshoe in my tricep. Again, I'm not warmed up with my tricep, so I'm going to take a little more time. I'm going to put an 80-pound dumbbell on here. That's going to be my set. I'm going to keep the reps a little higher with this because it's harder to do 8 to 10. You know, you normally end up doing 12 to 15 failure. But it's still great work. Okay, that's pretty warmed up. Now I'm going to grab the 80. Take a couple minute rest break, and then I'm going to crush my triceps. So last week I did 70 pounds on this, and I hit 15, so that's why I'm going to the 80. So we'll see what we can get with the 80. It's a little tricky when you don't have a partner to do it. Starting to come off me. There we go, right there. I'm done. And now I'm going to burn it out. Just with no weight. It's absolutely fried. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to do as many as I can do and I'm done. And now one more tricep. And with triceps, I just do 2 abs tries. And at the end of the week, with bis and tries, I'll pick 1 to 2 exercises depending on how I feel, and I'll do at least one set to failure. I don't do crazy drop sets or anything, but this way I just get a little more stimulus because my arms are, especially my biceps. I was always taught with boxing, with tennis, with golf, those are my sports. Don't build your biceps up. It'll make you slower and tighter. So I just never did biceps until probably a year and a half ago. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not playing those sports anymore, especially with my hips, so might as well get my biceps big. So I'm just gonna do incline skull crushers. I don't like general skull crushers. I feel like it just puts a lot more torque on your elbow, especially at my age, almost 50. So, and this is my warm-up set. This feels very good. Like I can stretch it, no pressure on my elbows, just a tiny bit. But I'm gonna warm it up with this and I'm gonna go all out with 35s. But it's good. I got some good, I don't like starting with these because this feels too much elbow pressure. So I was warm up with some, like a dip or the push down, and then I go into these. So now we're gonna go 35s. Here's the other one. Okay, so last week I did 30s, I got 12, so that's why I'm going up in weight. So let's see how many I can get. I'm feeling pretty weak right now. So 6. I'm not going to drop set. It's too fried. If I felt good, I'd probably drop set, but I'm too fried out. So 6, that's fun. So next week I'll try to get 7, following week maybe 8, and then I'll try to build it up to 12. Once I get to 12, then I'll go to the 40s. That's how I typically do it. Normally you want to start out with a weight you can do maybe 7 to 8 times. So I was just a little bit off there, but I don't have a 32.5 weight, so I don't care. I'll just start like that. I'm not going to get hurt. And now, the last thing I do is when I'm done all that, then I do my abs. So I'm either going to do some kind of decline sit-up, usually at the beginning of the week. At the end of the week, I'll do some kind of ab roll or hanging. I try to work at least those 3 components in, and that's how I do it. But just a normal decline sit up. I'm gonna raise it up a little bit. So I got these pads over here. Everyone makes fun of me because I got the flared ribs. So I've been working on drills to get rid of the flare. See how no flare, flare. No flare. So I'm learning how to compress it in, and then I kind of push in with my hands, but it's gonna go with 5 pounds. Still a little weird on my hip, so I just gotta watch it. I put it behind my head, it's harder. It's way harder behind your head, even if it's here, easy. Behind the head, hard. I learned this from Michael Hearn. I watched him do it, and I was like, wow, that's really hard. I'll do one more of those. I try to go to my left, because that's the side it's weaker. From all the years of golf, tennis, forehand, crunching into this side. So the left side is very underdeveloped. This way. Thanks for watching, and we'll do another video on how I do the chest and biceps. That's tomorrow.